Alright, we're just getting the live stream started now. Day 6 of 66. London kill zone Monday without any high impact news. Friday being a outside range day, meaning it took out the high and low of the week on the same daily candle. We saw the same thing on Thursday, and we've got it again on Friday, so big range expansion on Friday. Likely we're gonna see some sort of consolidation like we saw last Monday. That's why we're only looking for A plus setups, A plus shorts or longs from the low or the high of the day. So yeah, good morning Omar, or good afternoon or good evening. I'm in a trade on YM. I've got the $11 topstep 50k account, and I'm simply using the indicator-based Scalper Pro strategy where I enter long based on the screen triangles. I've been doing that for a long time. I've already got a funded account going with the strategy, with topstep as well. And then they offered the $11 account, and I decided to go for that without really asking questions. It's a simple trend continuation strategy where we get a stochastic RSI crossover after a pullback based on paired with the Scalper Pro overlay signal right here, one of our VIP indicators. Once we hit a 1.5R, I'm getting out at break even. But for the ES 2022 model, I want to see a market structure shift above this area right here. The high of the day currently comes in right 18. Something's not working with that higher time frame power of 3 candles, so let's turn it off for now. The high of the day, oh no, it's correct, it comes in right here, rejected off this bearish fair value gap. So if anything, I'd like to see a bearish market structure shift above this area or a bullish market structure shift below this area. Until then, I'm staying out. We've already done our markups yesterday night on Sunday. I've uploaded that video here on ES. We opened up with a slight bullish fair value gap. On NQ we opened up with almost with perfect, without a fair value, new week opening gap, sorry. Tiny one, also tiny bullish one on NQ. We now have already tested the daily inversion fair value gap. We've already spoke about that. Want to see support from this area. And for ES, yeah, we're still inside our lowest daily bearish fair value gap. Let's see how that goes. And let me actually extend out this daily volume imbalance right here. But let's go back to YM. We can see that with a 1 bar stop, we would have already hit the take profit. So if my stop loss would have been according to my rules, but we had a little bit of a lag. And by the time this candle closed, we were already up here somewhere. And this candle delayed and got stuck down here. So I assumed this candle is a down closing candle. Okay, so now we took the high. We didn't manage to take out the Asia high. I assumed this candle is a down closing candle, and on a down closing candle, I do not enter with a 1 bar stop. And then, I don't know, like my trading view froze. And it, yeah, closed up here, and I entered with a 2 bar stop, which is making it a little bit less easier for price. I mean, if we would have entered exactly like the chart wanted us to, our 1 bar stop would have been hit right here. Up closing candle, no issue using a 1 bar stop, a super small 6 point stop loss or 6 tick stop loss. Here, like I said, this is a scalping strategy. Let me copy that here quickly and put it in a strategy chat to document it. That's a bit annoying, but anyway, it's just a $11 account. For the funded account, I'm going to take a break here. Let's take a look at ES. So even if we get a market structure shift here, I wouldn't really be interested in it. I already spoke about the reasons why. We had a outside expansion day, range expansion day last Friday. We took out the low of the week right here coming from Monday on Thursday already, and also taking out the high of the week. So we saw the same thing on Thursday. Let me mark this up. So looking at Thursday, we took out the high and we took out the low. And then we expand our range because this is our new weekly high, or from up here all the way down to here, Thursday close. And once again at these extremes, got our reversal below, and we also took out the high of the week. So another outside day for ES on Friday, followed by a outside day on Thursday. No news Monday, coming from a high of the week, high of the month. So even if we would get a market structure shift inside here, I wouldn't take that on the trade day account. Could happen. I want to see at least the Asia buy side liquidity here from 8 p.m. being taken before I consider any shorts at all. I mean, we could simply be retracing, retest. We already kind of got the 2022 model down here. Right after the Asia kill zone, we cleared these equal highs, closed above, left behind inefficiencies. We had SMT divergence with NQ. Right here, NQ didn't take out the low, while ES did. So bullish SMT divergence here, bullish displacement market structure shift, bullish inefficiencies, breaker block, continuation up higher. That trade is likely going to get stopped out. That's a bit unfortunate, but I had my limit order placed right here, and this would have been a doji like this. No. Anyway, we will see how that goes. I'm not in on the funded account, taking this week off to really focus on just trading view executions. I used to still watch it on my TraderWay chart and enter there, but getting too much. So pausing the funded account, trying to get another 50k topstep account going for the strategy. Then we will see how all that goes. Let me check Discord if we've got some questions. Morning. Let's take a look at Bookmap. Buy side liquidity right here at 418 and a quarter. Let me turn off the sound right here. 422, 410. Delta increase, no short, only long. Interesting. Yeah, anyway, we're just gonna watch here. Stop loss is placed correctly. Yep. The DXY. DXY major area to watch this week, especially with CPI news tomorrow, would be this inversion fair value gap here on the daily if we want to reprice higher into the volume imbalance here on the daily, or the bearish fair value gap. We've already spoke about that in the weekly outlook. Yeah, it's getting rejected from this trend line. Took buy side liquidity. So yeah, well, if we would immediately see this one take out the previous week's low, Friday's low, I don't know. That sort of would, I think, lead to some sort of consolidation, which could also happen around this area before we get a further retracement and then expansion to the upside. So consolidate, manipulate, expand, power of 3, AMD, maybe on a weekly perspective. Or yeah, we just simply continue to show off strength and continue up higher. We're not here to call a top, neither are we here to call a bottom. So as long as the momentum is bullish, we continue with a bullish bias until we get that higher time frame proper market structure shift. If we check out the 1 hour time frame, no reason to believe why we should take out the sell side before we don't get a previous week side taken with a market structure shift for a potential continuation lower. Go to the daily here again. Take a look at ESZ. Pushing back up. NQ set now bullish SMT divergence at the lows. NQ made a lower low while ES did not make a lower low. YM is still alive. That's nice to see. We get a new entry possibly on this candle. New big triangle right here. But let's see. For which indicator? The Session Pro version 1, the old one, like the really old one, or for the ICT all-in-one indicator? Alright, so we had SMT divergence right here with ES, and we have new SMT divergence right here. I think we also have them at the high. Yeah, E said something right here, but I would disregard that because simply no liquidity taken just yet. And right now we saw the 2022 model expansion. We see that better on ES. We have our market structure shift. Bullish SMT divergence. Midnight. We expand away strongly from the midnight opening level right here. Midnight opens up. We take equal low sell side right here. Every time we touch that level, we touched and we immediately pushed back. We touched it, immediately pushed back. Then we wick it, strongly push back, displace, fill the inefficiencies, inversion fair value gaps, not even coming close to the midnight level again, and continuing higher. And yeah, basically since here all we did was take out highs, take out lows, take out highs, take out lows, might be next, we will see. We're inside this bearish value gap here from the Asia kill zone and also this rough consolidation area up here. So we want to see us getting above that, take out these Asia equal highs. Like I said, getting short, even if we would have seen a market structure shift here, I wouldn't have taken that because the most important rule for price to first take out a point of interest or higher time frame point of interest ideally, wouldn't have aligned on ES right here. Dirty Ryan, I think I can show you my settings. For the Session Pro, it's 1 to 4 a.m. That's version 1. New York is 7 till 10. Asia is 19 till 22. So basically 1 hour. If we look at the chart and we have our setting to UTC -5, our time zone setting, and we look at the beginning, it's 2 a.m. here. Go to the Session Pro and whichever time we want it to start on the chart, we simply do it -1 hour. So we want it to start at 2 a.m. So right here in the settings, we have to input 1 a.m. Then 3 hour kill zone duration from 1 till 4 a.m. But for the ICT all-in-one indicator, if you use UTC -5 and you use the default settings, everything should be done correctly. That's what I use, and that's what you see right here, just default settings basically regarding the kill zones. So NQ keeps on making perfect equal highs, yep, after taking the low. ES keeps on making these higher highs. YM open with a decent bullish volume imbalance. Let's see if it can continue and hit our break-even level. We would have gotten a new entry, but since we're already in a trade, we wouldn't take that. But this would be our new trade. Right here, 1 bar stop, bullish engulfing, retrace, new stochastic RSI crossover. We let the probability simply play out. So we get more bearish SMT divergence with NQ making perfect equal highs. But NQ making perfect equal highs is always kind of sus to me. Eventually, I think we're going to take those. We've been pretty bullish since the opening. We left behind this wick, tapping this 5-minute bearish fair value gap on both NQ and also on ES right here. Here's the wick into the 5-minute bearish fair value gap. And from here on, we just kept on going lower, 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 lower. Accumulation, market structure shift, displacement. NQ actually bounced off nicely off the midnight level, paired with that same fair value gap. So on NQ, we took out the lows right here, perfect equal lows. Consolidated for a little. We got our displacement. The highest high between those two low points would be right here for the market structure shift. Bullish fair value gap, midnight level, Asia session low hasn't been taken. That's why we would have preferred taking the trade on ES here, but I don't know. I'm asleep at that time, so. And it's really rare that this is happening at that time, so it's not worth it to wake up in the middle of the night just to be able to take a Asia market structure shift every now and then. Good morning, Ulrich. So let's see how that new topstep account goes. We have 160 contracts shorted for 418 still. And we add more and more positions up here, 145. And we remove liquidity from below, 14, doesn't matter. Yeah, now we're moving it up higher. We got a new area of shorts up here. So we should really see price continue higher first. Where's topstep? I'm not sure if they still have that discount going on for $11. It's not worth it to me to use it for the 2022 model. But it's working with all the rules. Topstep has okay enough to trade the scalper pro strategy on it. And currently you get these 50kx for $11. Not sure if you still get them for 11 until price set no. I think only until today, specific timing announcements. November 13th, today, 12 p.m. Central Time. So today, midnight, I'd guess. Okay, so we're stopped out here. Only the 1 bar stop would have hit our take profit target. So that's a little mistake from my end. Let's see, ES also rejected. We still have the bearish market, bearish SMT divergence. Perfect equal highs on NQ, not liking that. We retested the VWAP. Let me quickly journal that. How much did we end up losing? Account summary, 256, perfect. Topstep hashtag 2. 50,000 initial deposit date. Today, description, $11 veteran discount. And we add that right here. Where do we have a topstep 2? No, it's 500,000. That would be cool. It's 50k. Right, that's journaled. Let's go back to our chart. Yes, set. Same reasons still here. If we get the market structure shift, even with the perfect bearish fair value gap right here, of course, yeah, we could simply be missing out. It's not worth the risk to me on this Monday. We already saw a Asia expansion right from the opening. We were inside the Asia kill zone box. That's also a no-go for me. We have a bullish 2022 model down here, the midnight level. It could still play out. The probability is there, but Asia equal highs and Q equal highs just above this could simply be a retracement before we continue higher, and I don't want to engage on that, especially with having in the back of our minds how bullish Friday was, taking out the low and high of the week, or Thursday's low and high, which was the low and the high of the week until Friday, because Friday took out the low and high and left behind a new high and low of the weekend within a single daily candle. So Monday we actually just spent consolidating after we pretty much saw the same thing here last Friday, 3rd of November. Strong expansion to the upside. We didn't see Asia trend so much, really. We saw a Asia consolidation. Really, if we look at the 5-minute time frame here, this looks really ugly. Not a lot of movement. And then also during the London kill zone, not a lot of movement. And New York looked even worse. Whereas today looks better, at least. But I mean, we can paper trade this right now, but we want to see a sweep to happen here. Market structure shift, a close below this level to happen. If we would know theoretically just wick this and close above our old high right here, could be a potential unicorn setup. It got rid of all the longs, or most of the longs, before the London Open, placing their stop loss likely at this little short-term low. If we don't close below this and we displace back to the upside, but this would be a internal fractal unicorn setup and not the external one that we would like to trade. We're neither at the high of the day nor at the low of the day, so no reason for us just right now to really force anything. We close right on the low and open up with a bullish volume imbalance, and Q made a lower low once again. YM also now close below the VWAP with a bearish market structure shift right here, bearish volume imbalance. But we don't really look at this when trading the Scalper Pro strategy. We simply trade really stupidly, just waiting for the triangle to appear, managing our risk properly, not making mistakes like I did right here. Right when this candle formed, it jumped within the last 10 seconds, and I was watching it, dragging my position tool, my risk management tool around, and then it lagged. It was frozen down here as a down closing candle, so because I saw a down closing candle, we only had a couple of seconds left. I placed the stop loss right here. I waited for the candle to close. The candle closed, but the new candle didn't appear for the next 10-15 seconds really. So I had no clue how this candle actually closed, and then my chart refreshed and I saw it's an up closing candle already being triggered into the trade using a 2-bar stop. If I would have used the 1-bar stop according to the plan, our 2-to-1 would have been hit right here with this wick. Just a super quick scalp. That's what the strategy is all about. Just this little, twice the stop loss made a huge difference in reality. My entry was down here though, so it was easier to take profit targets, still not ideal. Right here. And that's the thing, the strategy, according to your rules, well, theoretically in reality you should have made, or in backtesting this would have been a win, While now with the lag and you maybe being too late, entering too late, oftentimes ends up that we are the issue that's making our strategy not profitable. And some people would then say, oh, why don't we automate it? Well, I haven't gotten around to automate it on NinjaTrader. And it's that simple. On MT5, we have to deal with all the spreads and stuff like that. On NinjaTrader, I think the possibility is there, but I just haven't had the time yet to get it coded properly for NinjaTrader. The DXY keeps bouncing here of the daily inversion fair value gap, but we don't have a new bullish share value gap that we could use around this area. The DXY took out Friday's low right here. ES didn't take out Friday's high, neither did it take out Friday's low. NQ did neither. Pushing back up, so likely just being a sweep right here. And nothing for us to do right now, like I said, until we get above here or below here. We're inside the range, not interested. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Could use this time to, I don't know, look at something from last week, answer some questions that you have about the setup or about different setups. Because right now, yeah, not gonna take anything inside the Asia range. According to ICT, if you watch the core content, the question arose, when's a good time to avoid London? And the answer was Asia range. Almost 20 points during Asia on the new daily open already sold off. Then 8 p.m. Asia kills one opens up. We consolidate for a little, form some sort of a bearish flag. Once again with perfect equal lows here. We take them and we just keep on dropping. We consolidate. We take the perfect equal lows, but instead of continuing here, we reversed. Now we're kind of doing the same thing. We reversed, we consolidate, and I'd say likely we're going to continue. But we're just doing some damage before we continue, instead of simply rallying up, making it really easy for all the traders to jump onto a trade. So if this candle is closing as an up close candle, I'm going to use a 1 bar stop here for a new top step entry, but we still have 5 minutes. NQ also took the low, perfect equal highs, like said. Very, very likely that those are going to be taken. It's pretty rare, especially during New York with lots of volume, to see perfect equal highs on NQ being left behind, because yeah, it has more decimals. We've already spoke about that a couple of times. So let's see. Was too high for your limit order. Okay. Yeah, we can talk about Friday's New York session unicorn setup. So right here, we got our first bearish market structure shift. We spoke about that on the live stream, but we didn't see the bearish fair value gap, so we didn't enter. Market structure shift bearish. All we did right here basically was seek and destroy. So we form a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, higher high. We didn't take the unicorn setup right here because we didn't close back above the high. And after making the next higher high, what did we do? We take out the lows again. So really just seek and destroy, and after taking the lows out again and also sell side below here, we take out the highs again. But with a crucial difference. For the unicorn setup, we close above our most recent high. And right here we had another market structure shift to the downside. We entered right on this bearish fair value gap, got stopped out on the trade day account. I had my limit order for the trade day account, if I remember correctly, placed on this bullish fair value gap, because at the time, once we closed above, I didn't see the new one. We had our bullish breaker block here, this highest up closing candle right here, breaker block, and then we have left behind a new bullish fair value gap up here. I placed my limit order down here where we had the overlapping confluence with the breaker block and the fair value gap. I didn't came back to look at the charts. I took my dog for a walk and I got back just before 12 p.m. here, basically, right here on this volume imbalance, and I saw, okay, well, really, I should have used the upper fair value gap here, not a entry above the old high, but at least an entry on the breaker block right here to really chase this bullish momentum. I mean, we've moved up a lot, rejected from the old previous week's high, retrace into the highest fair value gap. If we're super bullish, we don't always retrace into a lower one. And in reality, if I would have just chosen this breaker block for the trade day account, this is only a 5 tick difference. That's not too much of a difference. And we had our higher time frame draw on liquidity and also the daily buy side liquidity targets. So on the trade day account, I didn't get filled, but on my Apex funded accounts, I got in right around here after I saw the accumulation on the 1 minute time frame for the continuation move, I think for 10 points. Then I kept on scalping right here. I've shared that all inside the general chat. We consolidated on a 1 minute time frame. We had buy side liquidity pool above. I entered on every little retracement. I think last week I came out with a good profit on the Apex 50k. But let's go back to where we are at right now. We sort of see that same tendency. We form that seek and destroy. That's pretty good. YM is about to give us an entry, so I have to hurry up. Almost slept on that. 221 up here. 30 seconds to go. Let's hope we don't get a lag when trying to trade this one live. But we see that same tendency. High, low, higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low. This could go on forever. Doesn't have to, of course. 9 tick stop loss. 8 tick stop loss. All right, create limit order. 6 contracts by. Gotta be really quick here. Fuck off. Yeah, that's what I had about topstep. I think I can't even use 6, so I have to go in with 5 here. 5, okay, that only works with Apex then. Well, we'll see if we get retested here. Otherwise, it's just a hit and miss. 2 to 1 risk reward would come in up here. Okay, so we're filled. Not thinking about it, just playing the probabilities. Yet again, we made higher highs. Can almost draw the perfect trend line here. And also to the downside. So kind of a pennant. That's always what we see if we get these seek and destroy scenarios. Where we expand in both directions, but not really go anywhere specifically. NQ, once again, perfect equal high, no leaving behind a inefficiency. If I would trade NQ and scalp it based on a gut feeling, this would have been my entry. This bullish fair value gap right here, stop loss right here below the slow to take out this buy side above for a quick scalp. Maybe get in on the 50% and one low-hanging fruit entry right here. Just for quick 5.5 points to all these equal highs, basically. Leave a runner to the Asia session buy side right here. Hang on, create limit order. If I go in with 5 contracts here, I would make 375. No, I'm going to up my take profit target 2 to 1. Create limit order. 5 minis, that would be $400. 5 ticks, 1 tick, 25. So I would have to up it by 4 ticks from here in order to 1.5 risk reward would come in right here. Two to 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we hit this price level, let's see if we have anything nicely lining up with that. No, yeah, maybe some more buy side. We'd hit that 500 level. That's really what I'm going for here. So I'm going for a 2.5. Well, no, I can't. I'm gonna leave it at 2 to 1. We keep on forming this pennant. So the question right here now is, can we take out the Asia equal highs right here and then get our displacement? So last fake out, displace, and yeah, well, we'll see. And Q is really lagging behind here, but eventually I think it's going to deliver off this fair value gap. I mean, it's basically the only fair value gap that we have left behind so far in the London kill zone. No, nothing here, and then we get the displacement back up after taking out the low one more time. Then we leave behind a inefficiency with equal highs above, Asia session high above. If that's not a dead giveaway, then I don't know. Trade for me would look something like this. Not looking for a insane risk reward ratio, maybe just a quick 1-to-1 out of the consolidation. Take partials here, move stop to break even. Target Asia highs. But so far we can see really how this narrative aligns. Asia trend, we can draw a straight line from the high, from the left upper corner to the bottom right lower corner right here. Trend during Asia likely leads to some sort of range during London. So a 1.5 risk reward comes in once we take out the Asia buy side liquidity pool. Our entry is spot on. But like I said, we want to be careful of what's happening next, because we could just simply keep on doing that seek and destroy. We've been prepared for that. We saw the tendency before London kill zone even started with the Asia trend, even starting from the daily opening here, really. Still inside our Asia range. We saw the 2022 model at the lower extreme. So really we would just expect it to continue higher, but yeah, right now all the traders getting chopped up. We don't want to be part of that. So let's see. That's massive on like that. We don't hit these equal highs or breach them. Eventually we will hit them. I'm 100% sure. But so far it looks like we continue. Now we have a unfilled volume imbalance right here on ES. If I'd be scalping this, I'd take the long right here. Same as I would on NQ from this bullish fair value gap. Let's see if I get stopped out here on YM. We also have the bullish fair value gap right here from this candle's high to this candle's low, paired with a volume imbalance. Just sticking to the 1-bar stop method here without really thinking about any SMC, ICT, market structure, blah, blah, blah. You name it. I simply wait for these arrows and set and forget, basically. Just had to get a few things sorted. Ease, yeah, that's the big issue with topstep. Yes, you can use 5 minis, but also only 5 micros. And that's really fucked up. So even if I would want to trade this on the micro contract, the MYM, I wouldn't be able to do that because, well, topstep doesn't allow it. So they either want me to over leverage or not to use proper risk management. And every other firm is offering that. I've been asking on their Discord server. They said they're working on it, but one of their community members told me that he's getting that same answer for the last couple of months, years almost, and they haven't done anything so far. So I don't think that's happening. It's just how they make money as a company. By not giving traders the ability to use micros properly, they force you to take minis, which is higher risk, which is therefore easier to blow your account, and therefore easier for them to basically make money. So we hit our 1.5 risk to reward ratio right here. So my stop loss goes to break even. My take profit is at a 2-to-1. We kept on going higher from the bullish fair value gap paired with the unfilled volume imbalance. Same goes here for NQ. We filled in this entire inefficiency. So we could have even gotten in some more contracts further down. Yeah. And yeah, just this tiny little rule that you can use 5 minis or 5 micros really, for me, in my opinion, makes topstep the worst futures funding firm out there. Even though it's the oldest futures funding firm and has been around for the longest amount of, the oldest one, I've already said that. Yeah, I don't know, it's sad, really. Their payout rules are kind of, they sound good initially with these $200 days, but then we have that next thing that doesn't make sense to me, which would be you need $200 days in order to make it count as a profitable day on the 50K account, on the 100K account, and on the 150K account. And it's 3 times easier to theoretically equity based on your equity percentage to make a $200 profit on a 150K account than it is on a 50K account. Normally I would expect for the 150K account, the threshold what counts as a green profitable day to be increased to at least $500, but well, that's not the case. So making it really harder for the 50K accounts to even reach this $200 target. And then that stupid rule with 5 micros or 5 minis, not like with Apex Trade Day, Take Profit Trader. You can use the same amount that you can use with minis times 10, or you can risk the same amount. Doesn't make sense why they only allow 5 micros, other for you to fail basically. Somehow I always have problems getting sound from Discord on my just start watching the ICT for beginners, and then hop in here with us and watch me trade it live and talk about it, ask questions. That would be the best way to start. Watch the ICT 2022 series. Gonna hear a lot about I think it's just those initial hours spent with ICT concepts and then really doing it yourself on your charts. Yeah, there's no need to know everything about ICT, like Ryan said. All you need to know is really one model and run with it. And that's what we're doing for the trade day challenge. We've now formed another equal high right here, so eventually I want to see this to be taken. And even then, if we get the displacement to the downside right here after taking this high, the market structure shift really would come in down here. This would be a fractal market structure shift. It's not really a higher high, higher low, higher high. No, I think we could even use this short-term low as a market structure shift. But first we have to get there. That's the cool thing about already knowing what you're looking for. You can prepare, plan, and get ready to execute. It's not like, oh, okay, there's an entry, I have to be quick now. You usually have around 30 minutes, sometimes even an hour time in order to prepare for the entry. You can already imagine what it looks like. We form the higher high, the higher low, and a new higher high. We take out the A sharp Y side. If we get to close below this level, we'd look for a fair value gap right here and enter short for a 2 to 1. If this doesn't happen, we don't engage. It's that simple. One trade per session, and we see how far we can take it. And in case we get the unicorn setup, we can still, which oftentimes means a loss for the 2022 setup, we can offset the loss and manage to get back to break even. NQ is just hitting a wall here. Not sure really what's happening. All these equal highs. That's crazy. At 15,543. YM is in the same shit show really. We took out the high. Take out yeah, that's perfectly okay to get confused sometimes. 2022 internal, 2022 external, unicorn. I somehow get all the ideas, but like Ryan said, focus on one thing first and start from there. Exactly, that's how you do it. Yeah, that's a bullet perfect after rating liquidity level right now at the low. Exactly, that's also what I would call a silver bullet setup. Many different names for basically the same thing. Yeah, rate the low, have equal highs. We have a strong draw on liquidity. All these equal highs here on NQ. Could even go back to this high right here. We touch this area. Now we get the first bullish value gap after taking sell side. That for me would be perfect silver bullet setup. Without the market structure shift or anything confirmed, maybe on a 1 minute time frame. But even here, kind of needs a lot of imagination to see a market structure shift, a proper one right here. So let's see if we can push above the high now. And while all we're looking for is bullish market structure, higher highs and higher lows, the market structure shift, forming a new lower low relatively to this higher low, a pullback where we enter on, and a continuation lower. And ideally we want this to happen above a session liquidity pool. So let's say the Asia session high comes in right here, and the Asia session low would be all the way down here. We take out a previous session high, a previous day, week high, could replace all this with this line. So this could be a previous day, previous week, previous session high and low with the bullish market structure going above this level, and then the displacement, the reversal confirmation to continue lower. Very simple really. And yeah, this would be a external 2022 setup. That's what I'm looking forward to trade on the trade day challenge. And a internal setup would be if we're still haven't taken any important enough pool of liquidity, meaning simply previous session high, previous day high, previous week high, we still can get these setups, but I'd say they have lower probability because we could still really just retrace a little and then continue back up to the SPY side. So we first want to make sure that the liquidity pool has been taken, and then we want to see the reversal. And the unicorn setup is basically just really breaking it down. We get the market structure shift, we enter on our pullback, which is always a fair value gap or breaker block, a old low turning, old support turning into resistance. We continue lower a bit, we don't hit our take profit target, and we immediately say no, we don't want to continue lower. And then we look for a long entry at the old high of the day to continue with the bullish momentum, because then we can say with high probability that this entire move to the downside right here was a fake out move to trap traders short and then quickly liquidate them to continue up higher, to accumulate more longs down here, get old longs to sell into the hands of market makers, displays liquidate new shorts, and they make the most amount of money. Let's see what we're working with. Okay, so we took Asia buy side. That's done now. NQ should have taken... oh, it's still bouncing at that level. I think that's crazy. Well, ES is pushing above. And the market structure shift level for me would come in right here at this low. Well, we could almost use this one right here because we have a higher low to the left and a higher low to the right. But the range is super small and therefore easier to get stopped. Let's check out YM. YM had our take profit target. So we're up $122 on the topstep account. I should have used the 2.5. Yeah, would have been hit now as well. But anyway, first winning trade, and now we're pushing. But we're not looking for that. We're simply also just look for our 2-to-1 risk to reward. That's what's tested. That's what works. 1 bar stop. Let's journal that. Yes, it's now pushing. NQ is still being held up. 12 seconds to go on this 5-minute candle. Top step. Profit loss, 400 profit. We entered long with 5 minis on the top step. Number 2, YM1. London should have been 6 minis, $4.250 risk, but max contract size with top step. And right now we come up at a PL of 144, and we're at, still can't believe it, still getting rejected here. And right now we're sitting at a PL of 122, yeah, close enough. Commissions. Nice. So at least ES played out. After the seek and destroy, we close above, bullish share value gap. Continue to take the Asia buy side for a little scalp. Getting in on this highest fair value gap. 3 points so far, that's not bad. Now we're inside a 1 hour bearish fair value gap. We don't have any higher bearish fair value gaps here on the hourly time frame. We already rebalanced this one right here. The only inefficiency we have lining up with the Asia buy side. That's pretty nice. Already filled this one. So yeah, really looking for shorts above here. Still the plan. Market structure shift. We formed a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So that's valid as well. Of course, we would prefer cleaner structure, more than one candle forming the pullback. But on a 1 minute time frame, we can really see that being the case. From the higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. YM would have hit a 3.5 risk reward. Well, at least glad to see. 1 bar stop, 2 bar stop. So in reality, should have been 2 winning trades. We've already spoke about that. Up closing candle, not a doji. 1 bar stop. 2 to 1 would have been hit with this wick high. And unfortunate, already on the first 2 trades on these accounts, we made 2 not really mistakes, because, well, with topstep I can't use more than 5 mini contracts, so I'd say it wasn't a mistake that I could improve on. On my funded account, I only risk $100 per trade. Play it slow and yeah, let the probabilities play out. I've already had the 5 green days on topstep, and I can withdraw my profits as they come in, basically. That's pretty cool. During the last 2 weeks, I recovered the drawdown and made enough to get a new payout. And yeah, I know I paused that account and want to see if we can get a second 50k added to that topstep balance and connect them with a trade copier, increasing the equity. And because the $11 offer was just too good to be true. Still, you've got to pay the $150 activation fee afterwards, so don't forget that. 4 to 1 risk reward. Let's take a look at ES. Closed in the volume imbalance right here, but we cut through this Asia buy side with a new bullish fair value gap right here. So I'd still expect higher prices from around this area, to be honest. And Well, if that's not totally rigged, I don't know. Like, come on. Well, at least we would have had enough opportunities to at least hit the partial point that we've talked about, these equal highs. I wouldn't place it above, I would place it right on that high, and with futures we do not need price to go above that. Simply just ticking this level is enough to get us filled. Ouch. Well, funny, long time no see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 equal highs on NQ. Might be a first time. Yeah, for a small scalp, perfect entry. And we spoke about that. We also spoke about the same opportunity here on ES. Also, no real bearish fair value gap or bullish fair value gap has been left behind. I know we had a tiny little one here, but yeah, we're in the middle of nowhere, still inside the Asia range. But here, what happened then is bearish fair value gap and sell side already cleared. We didn't close below, so we won't really enter on that. Understanding that we might be in that seek and destroy environment after a Asia trend. We take out the high, we take out the low one more time. So we've done the job twice now. We took out the low twice at this point, and we took out the highs twice. Or yeah, basically once, depending on how you look at it. So we take out the lows, we immediately get bullish momentum to the upside. At this point in time, we close right at our old high, leaving behind bullish inefficiencies now, bullish volume imbalance, bullish fair value gap right here. Also for that same quick scalp opportunity for 2 points. Can leave a runner, put your stop at break even right here, and see if you can target 5. Like said, right now, everything's still looking nice. Bullish fair value gap through the old Asia session high. Should really help us to continue higher here. And on NQ, same thing, just a super small range. But on NQ, actually the first bullish fair value gap and bearish fair value gap that we leave behind during London. We take out the low, we take out another low. So really all we do is take out lows and leave behind equal highs. Then we get the opportunity to enter on a inefficiency to target these equal highs. Well, quick scalp for 5 points from the high. And I would have also placed a limit order maybe at the 50%, like this, for 8 points, and then scale out. Try the stop loss to break even in case it doesn't want to continue higher in the rare scenario. A really nice opportunity. What's the time now? This is a new hourly opening, 4 a.m. So if we go to the hourly time frame, that's what we see right now. Still holding up on this 1 hour bearish fair value gap. 5 minute. Bullish fair value gap. Yeah, so you either, I don't know, gotta pick between the two. You either stick to a fixed model or you just, I don't know, we had it yesterday in the VIP chat where we spoke about how exciting it is to already know what you're looking for, looking forward to the next trading week. We know what setups we're taking, we know which setups we're not taking, compared to, yeah, doing it all on the fly, like on the go, while we're doing it, taking or waiting for an opportunity without knowing what the opportunity really looks like or could look like we said here on ES, can already, yeah, imagine what our market structure shift right here looks like, how we enter with the bearish fair value gap. We have our plan and we simply wait for our, yeah, criteria to be to align and continue higher from there, enter from there. But I don't know, it's a bit of uncertainty, I guess, that comes with this true scalping. where you just take the opportunities as they come and go, compared to exactly knowing what you're looking for and improving on that specific short-term high equal highs now on that specific model or setup. Whoa. It's always the good ones that you just wish you would have kept on holding and passed the account with one trade, basically. Not possible with topstep because they have a consistency rule for the challenge. But still nice to see that right after our entry, we don't go back below our 1 bar stop loss for a true scalp, targeting a 2-to-1. What's happening afterwards, it's always up to chance. Sometimes we explode, sometimes we just hit the 2-to-1 in reverse. And over the long run, and with a healthy win rate, I'd say, 2-to-1 is the best choice, even though sometimes you watch these 10-to-1s even, and you always wonder what it would feel like taking these. Well, I can tell you that much. Sometimes you get them, and you feel really good. But most of the time, if you go for a 10-to-1 win rate, your 10-to-1 risk to reward, you will only end up losing and losing and losing and losing, likely getting super close to blowing the account very often, or blowing the accounts very often, and then you get that 10-to-1. You make it all back, but you're just back at break even, and you always start from the same point again. You get that one winning trade with a 10-to-1, and the next 10 trades are mostly gonna be losing trades, and you're back in drawdown, and then you get the 10-to-1. You're back at break even. Hard to break away from that cycle. That's why 2-to-1 is good enough. And Q hit the fair value gap again. Let's see if it can break above. YM is already showing off some real strength here. The same goes for ES, like we said. Bullish fair value gap. Going through the Asia high oftentimes leads to simple continuation up higher. We don't close near the 50% of that. We've already outlined possible longs from the bullish fair value gap right here, paired with the volume imbalance. That's where we delivered from 3.5 points. Volume imbalance. This is funny. Let me take a look at the chat. Unicorn setup is basically a breaker order, so some difference. Have you watched the video about a unicorn setup? I've talked about all these differences between, or what makes a unicorn setup a high probability unicorn setup, what confluences you'd like to see with that, especially the external ones. Yeah, make sure to watch that, but I can cover it in the stream as well. It should be inside the VIP chat. I might make a little thread for this so it's easier to find. Where is it? Here. Oh, I've already done that. Unicorn setup. Inside the Learn ICT concepts. But going just from this example, basically it's just a breaker block with a new bullish fair value gap or any kind of PD array to the upside from the high of the day though. And what's making it a higher probability unicorn setup is if we, right at the open, retrace below the 50% of our entire daily range to trap traders short, quickly stop hunt them. So the things you want to see, that also makes sense if you think about like order flow. Traders are positioned long right here, and they put their stops below each and every higher low. This retracement right at the 9:30 open or after the 9:30 open traps traders short into the market, so they start selling. and all these old longs with that existing uptrend previously, they are in buy positions, but at these levels they sell because they want to get out of their buy positions, because probability is there that we go back and continue just lower from here, so they get stopped out, so they sell into the hands of the market makers, while also shorts are in the market right now, and if shorts want to get out of the position that they're in, getting trapped here in the fake out move, they have to buy it back, sell. So if they're short, they have a buy stop above, and that's only accelerating the move back to the upside. That's exactly what we saw right here. So taking sell side below the 50% of the entire daily range, high probability confluence, bounce off the midnight level, VWAP, or whatever other PD array we have for the day. So if we would have continued a little bit lower, we saw that, I think, a couple days back, where we perfectly bounce off that midnight level or the VWAP, whichever it is. You just want to stack confluences in this case. We took sell side below the 50%, majority of the longs being stopped out, having sold their longs into the hands of the market makers, and the shorts being trapped in a fake out move, accelerating the new displacement to the upside, which is then presenting the unicorn setup with our new breaker block. Once we close above our old high of the day, we close above, we look for the highest up closing candle to become support, bullish fair value gap, overlapping confluence, entry right on the breaker block, buy side above previous day's high, and also some old daily buy side. Really nice setup here that we saw on Friday. And this is the way how we can still participate to buy at the high of the day, expecting to sell at an even higher price. Usually we want to sell high and buy back lower, or buy low and sell back higher, but I'd say this would be the exception, where we can still buy at a relatively expensive price, looking at just the current daily candle at the high, because we know, or we can anticipate, the continuation upside expansion. Come on. This is getting ridiculous. That's really... Come on, let's watch it live, breaking this level. So I hope that made sense. There we go, and we broke it with momentum. ES is pushing also further to the upside from our bullish fair value gap. Once we took out the SPY side liquidity, we would have hit 5 points from the fair value gap entry right here. YM is also just expanding, now at a 8 risk reward, 8.5 risk reward from our entry down here. That's usually when I stop taking trades with the strategy, because, well, it's only 1 hour left inside our kill zone. I'd like to get the retracements or the entries from the VWAP, ideally, the midnight open VWAP. I have to say that too. And if we get a retracement here, we could always just continue lower easily to fill a lower inefficiency. We will see if we get another setup. It's just 4:10 a.m. We have 50 more minutes. ES is continuing higher. Market structure shift would come in right here now. NQ took this buy side and immediately rejects. Stop would go to break even now. Even before that, we saw how we respected the inefficiency, priced into it 2-3 times before we took all these equal highs. Let me go back to the live stream. So looks like we might not be getting an entry during the London session, but nothing wrong with that. It's better than losing, because not losing money is already winning. We are up 1 hour on a new top step challenge. Well, theoretically 0.5 because of that stupid 5 mini rule. Well, I guess it's not really stupid, it's just not made for the scalper with small stops. So it's okay. I had the opportunity to say, okay, I want to get out at a 2.5, but I decided not to because I don't want to screw with any of the take profit or stop loss. This all is fixed. Because sometimes if you then set your take profit target to a 2.5 risk to reward, it hits your 2-to-1 and then you get stopped out at break even, creating a even bigger reality gap than you would have by simply taking profit at $400 like we did right here on this example. Unfortunately, I didn't know that we're gonna hit a potential 10R on this trade. Otherwise, my stop loss would have been all the way up here. We can't always, expect that. So it's just better to do your risk management properly. You have our stop loss. We measure our 2-to-1. Unfortunately, due to the top step limitations, only able to enter with 5, but well, so be it. We don't want to see our, 2-to-1 being hit with a wick and then coming back to our break even, actually making no money at all. Then, simply when we target the 2.5 risk to reward. So if I would have decided to place my take profit target here, we hit the 2-to-1 risk to reward and then come back to break even, I wouldn't have made a single dollar just because I wanted to make 500. So the reality gap difference would be okay. If I would have simply stuck to my risk management and my rules, I would have made 400. So what's better, making $100 less than you really should have, or nothing? Well, pretty simple answer to that. And that's just the way it is. And that's what I really like about the strategy. It enables me to not think and simply wait for my signal, check it every 5 or 10 minutes, see, okay, is the stock RSI getting close to crossover? The Scalper Pro is already integrated into the overlay, so I don't have to have that on my chart even. I just wait for the signals and take that. Yes, continues up higher. Low of the day being formed right here from the 2022 setup that we already spoke about, but not inside our kill zone, so nothing we can do about it. We got the continuation entry after some sort of seek and destroy. Once we swept that sell side one last time, bullish inefficiencies being left behind, target the Asia equal highs, makes perfect sense. We cut through the Asia high not just with a wick, we cut through it with a body, leave behind a inefficiency, we keep holding support around this area and continue to deliver higher. Same goes for NQ, we even retested the fair value gap one last time, and now we've hit the Asia session high. So the tape reading this morning was spot on, 14 points on NQ. And with tape reading, I mean, just going with the flow, and instead of looking for a specific model, 5 points would have been hit on NQ. Just go with the flow, listen to what price action and fair value gaps tell you, and trade based on that. But of course, sometimes we have to understand that if you interpret this as a bearish fair value gap and market structure shift, and sometimes the story that the fair value gaps tell you and like overall price action, that's at least how I look at price. I listen to that story and interpret it, placing my orders based on what I hear or what I see. Makes more sense. And sometimes even that story is trying to trick you. Like, for example, this bearish value gap, expecting lower prices from here. Well, wouldn't have fitted with the overall bigger picture. Equal highs, Asia buy side, 2022 model at the low. Really, we would just expect this to take the Asia low and afterwards take the Asia high. So really no interest in going short here until we get a decent long setup. But then you could have used the inversion fair value gap. So we take sell side. If I would have tape readed this instead of looking for my specific setup, we would have seen, okay, we sweep sell side, we're back below our bearish fair value, back above our bearish fair value gap, now support, looking to target higher prices, and we would have been stopped out one more time. So we would have initially taken loss, which then could lead to us hesitating and not taking this entry right here, the one that played out, and then you get mad because, yeah, you missed out on the entry and you enter somewhere up here with lower probability because we already took out the main objective, Asia buy side, which really was the easy draw on liquidity. Up here, yeah, simply retrace into a fair value gap on the higher time frame maybe, but I don't know. I hope you get the point of that being too many variables. And you really have to be completely disciplined. So initially, if you would have taken a short here, imagine like maybe a super scalp. Nah, not after we take sell side, it doesn't make sense. So no shorts here, but a potential long of the inversion. After taking sell side, continuing with our initial bias bullish market structure, we sweep a low, ignore the bearish inefficiency, close back above it, hold support, but yet we fail, get stopped out, and we're like, or at least that's what it used to be like for me for a while when I started this tape reading approach. You're like, oh, I took a loss, there's something wrong with my system, doesn't it work? Then you get a new setup and you're like, should I take this? Maybe I take it, but with lower risk because you're now scared and fearful because you're already in drawdown. Then you see that the second one played out, and it might not be the second one, it could be the third or fourth one. And the probability of you taking the fourth trade after, like, 3 losses with proper risk management is getting lower and lower. That's why I think it's just much simpler to look for that one setup. If it doesn't show up, so be it. And if it shows up, you take it. Both systems work perfectly. Got to use different accounts. You've got to choose what you want to do. Going with the flow, just listening to price action, watching fair value gaps and interpreting price based on that, doing the tape reading approach, or choosing one model and doing exactly that. Waiting, anticipating the model, imagining what it could look like right here, as we continue higher. Of course, some people just also can't deal with watching price go higher while they're waiting for the short to eventually come in, but might not happen, and they feel like, I could have made money on the long. But that's not really what it is about if you trade a rule-based strategy. I know some good stuff we're talking about here. Wish I would have heard that a long time ago. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's really what it comes down to. If you're good in real life with just like going with the flow and see where life takes you, then that might be your approach. But if you're someone that needs structure, a plan, something to prepare for, something to look forward to into the future, what am I going to do in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? Well, if you do the tape reading approach, I guess you still do something. You do the tape reading and you know how you do it, but you do not know what it would look like because you just go with the flow. You can't really plan when you go with the flow. You can only do that if you have a specific trading plan. Obviously makes sense, and prepare for that, because then okay, so in 2 weeks time or on day 60 of this challenge, I'm still going to be looking for that same market structure shift and the 2022 setup. If you have any questions about this, guys, feel free to ask me. I enjoy talking about this topic. Being a recent one for me. Perfect immediate rebalance. Close above, strong close above all these highs. Retrace to this old candle's high. Continue higher. this is tape reading. We do it because right now there's really no 2022 setup that we can play with. But yeah, what type of person are you? Are you someone who needs to plan, or someone who has no issues at all, just going with the flow, has prices progressing, taking scalps along the way, moving to the upside? I mean, here was super obvious, but yeah, I don't know. It would be hard to imagine something like this going into the new week. Like, what trades am I going to take? Sometimes you get that little put that pressure on yourself. Okay, I want to get a payout. I need that payout maybe because I have to pay some bills. Okay, then you might have some more emotional baggage that's leading eventually to taking silly trades. And you're like, shit, that's not really how it's supposed to go. And then you take the shittier setups and the good setups come by right here. And you don't take them, or you take them with not enough risk, and then you make mistakes here left and right. But yeah, I don't know, just by looking at this order flow right here, I don't know, it tells a story. And that's what I think is the most valuable thing that ICT shared. It's the perspective to look at price action to, I don't know, like without it, I wouldn't be able to really tell you the story that I'm telling you right now with using the fair value gap. Okay, first fair value gap inside the London kill zone. Right here on NQ, we took out the lows, so we took out sell side liquidity, we get the pushback up, we have all these equal highs. Now a inefficiency below after taking sell side long, target this for a quick scalp. We have the Asia session buy side right here. Boom, done. Before that, okay, we make a lower low and then making highs. We still have equal highs and a session buy side, but I hope you get what I mean. So we took out the Asia high and we move away from it. We didn't close above it, we only wicked it. Our market structure shift on the 5-minute really comes in right here. Higher low to the left, higher low to the right. YM almost at a 9-1. That's when you know it's just super extended. And if we would wait for a new setup here, yeah, the probability is still there. But, I mean, we could get a pullback and a new signal right here. But what's stopping us from retracing a little bit lower into this fair value gap right here? I don't know. If you know all this stuff once and you do the tape reading, it's super hard for you to trade a simple mechanical strategy. It's going against your nature, basically. You're like, it's against the story it's telling me, but it might be right, so just gotta sit on my hands and do nothing, as hard as it sometimes is. That's funny. Last December was pretty awesome, actually. I won't leave it out. Volatility is still going to be there. That's most of the time when we see the... I don't know, last December was really awesome because traders think that way and they leave it out. It's like the Thanksgiving effect. Most people don't trade on Thanksgiving, and that actually ends up being one of the best trading days because lacking participants, blah blah blah, they can move price into whichever direction what they want. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna stick to continuing to trade throughout December. Who cares? But if you don't want to, if you want to take some time off, that would be the only reason for me to not trade it, I'd say. But there's no such thing as lack of volatility. I mean, on lower time frame, you always get the potential, like last year. Always like the ICT approach, but I guess the one thing I lacked is discipline, so that I got from you already. It's a lot more relaxed to work like that. I definitely agree with you. Well, it's been a journey to be more relaxed, to not trying to force a setup if it's simply not there. And yeah, well, it's just sticking to the process. The 66 days challenge is also helping a lot. I don't know, you really don't want to screw that up. If you're being honest, like okay, I could take this trade, but if it goes south, or I would have already failed my own personal challenge on day 6. Like, that's not what you're gonna do most of the time. So yeah, you better off just sticking to what you have set out to do or plan to do, which is making it more relaxed. If we, after these 66 days, go back to the tapering approach, if you guys like that. I mean, we're still doing it using the fair value gaps and what the candles tell us. But yeah, even that sometimes leads to losses. Most of the times, likely, but good risk management is making a difference. If we go back to these old live streams, yeah, we just had simple, beautiful days with nice profits, taking these scalps, just going with the flow. But most of the time, especially towards the end, I don't know, you had one chance to get into these explosive moves. And like we spoke about, if you miss the opportunity and you're trying to, you miss the opportunity, missed opportunity leads to traders chasing. Also for me to chase things, and then didn't hit our take profit target, you get that next loss. Or if I go back into my journal, and also another very common typical thing is that you've done the tape reading, you went with the flow, and you took a loss, you took another loss, and these losses aren't big, because once we enter short on this bearish fair value gap and we close above, I immediately close my position, because in this scenario I would now look for support on this inversion fair value gap right here to continue into the SPY side, so I don't have to wait and wait for a bigger loss than I would have if I simply exit on the close of this 5-minute candle. I hope that makes sense. Omar, you said that last time when we've been trading the 2022 setup. I know, trust me, it's hard to not exit the trade once we close above our bearish entry fair value gap for the 2022 setup, but that's what life is like, or your trading style is like, if you stick to your rules, and there's no other way around it. If you then still decide to exit once we close above, then it has to be in your rule set. And for me, going through the charts and backtesting it, it simply wasn't worth it. I wanted a set and forget approach to be able to do this and not use the tape reading in order to even improve the 2022 setup, I'd say. But yeah, like you said, it's still, I mean, then you make these small scalps, it's still super hard. 100% disciplined is, I mean, you also need it for every strategy, for every other strategy that you trade, basically. And 100% discipline is quite something to achieve. I mean, think about it. Who else around you is 100% consistent with the profession that they chose to do, or with their hobbies or their jobs, basically? Who's really 100% consistent, not messing it up once because they wanted to try something, or like, I don't know. I don't know many people. And the question, okay, is there a solution how to become 100% consistent? How to not make these silly mistakes again that reset your account balance and all that stuff? And then you think about, okay, how does someone become 100% consistent? And there's simply no better answer to it than by simply being 100% consistent. I thought about it a lot also with another friend, and he's like, no, I think there's no way around it other than being 100% consistent. I don't think, like, typing it in on Google or YouTube, how to become a 100% consistent trader will help you. I think the only way you can achieve that is by being 100% consistent. And I thought about that recently too. Let's just chat a little bit here. It's traders most often ask me how to become consistently profitable. And I always put the profitable into that same sentence of the consistency. So how do I become consistently profitable? Whereas really, you don't have a impact on if it's profitable or not. So how do I say that the best? Well, I would only ask me, how do I become consistent? And with being consistent, the profitability should really come automatically. So the question is not, how do I become consistently profitable? It's just, how do I become consistent? And once I'm consistent, I likely will also be consistently profitable. You will still lose while being consistently profitable, but at least you're consistent and you can rely on something and simply trying to perfect exactly that. Hope all that makes sense. Let's see. Exactly. Mark Douglas is, I think he also spoke about that in his workshop, that very famous old, super old video on YouTube, where he talks about different types of traders: the mechanical trader, the gut feeling trader, which is basically going with the flow and all that. Season of 30 years, yeah. Looking pretty good. Pre-election year. Yeah, it's about the consistency. And traders ask how to become consistently profitable, while they should really forget about the profitable and just focus on, okay, hey, profitable is already, it's another topic. Like, you don't really have impact on that. The only thing you have an impact on is how to become the consistent trader. And once you're that consistent trader, well, then if you're still not profitable, that's a new thing to worry about. But it's not how do I become the profitable, consistent trader. It's about the how do I become the consistent, profitable trader. So yeah, you should really start focusing on the consistent part first. And so let's say you're consistent and you're still not profitable. Okay, then it is the strategy, and you can say with 100% confidence it's not you. Because most of the time the strategy works, but it's the trader not being consistent, so making the strategy not work. And then they say, the strategy isn't working, while it in reality is the trader which isn't working. Used to be a long time like that for me when trading the Scalper Pro strategy. Because sometimes like, bearish market structure, shift pair value gap, I'm sure I can get a better entry on this, blah, blah, blah. It's much harder than it looks like. But that's the only way. It's not easy being 100% consistent. It's like saying that you want to start a diet, or you want to go to the gym every second day, or only eating healthy. Because, yeah, it's simply what humans are like when it comes down to like the bigger picture. We sometimes are simply lazy, and we do not want to exercise, and we do not want to eat healthy. We want to go to Mac's or eat some fast food or whatever. It's hard to, but that's really that top 1%. If you think about it, I don't know, I think during London we only have Europeans listening, but for example, the best reference I could make like is a professional soccer player. They don't go out partying every weekend with their friends, not at all. They have exercises, they eat healthy, because if they don't, there will very likely be another football player that's doing all these things, becoming eventually better than they are. So if you're at that top 1% level, yeah, the odds of that are really becoming exponential the further you go up, getting to that 1% range. I hope that makes sense the way I said it. but I think it should make sense for me. If not, tell me, please. Market structure shift still comes in at this level, and it is 445. Let's see. Mindset and psychology is badass. If you start to think, you always try to think of a reason not to do something. So if you want to do something, do not think, yeah, just do it. And that's exactly what I like so much about trading. It's like it's like an art. You have like, eventually you can break it down to trading being a form of a art, like playing soccer is, or any other sport. It's an art that you perform, and once you start thinking, you really mess that up. Like, I don't know, you've very likely had this in your own personal life before. Sometimes you just do things and they work out really well because you don't think about it. Like, I don't know, if you play soccer with your friends and you just start to dribble and you don't really think about what you're doing, it's actually really working out well. But then we look at the charts and we start to think, okay, if this and this and this and that and now we have 20 things against what we think will happen and 20 things for what we think will happen. Problem is that we think something is going to happen. Trading is simple until we start thinking. So that's why, yeah, just going with the flow is also a viable approach, really, to trading. And you just perform the art without trying to think too much, which is not the easiest thing to do if you constantly watch the charts. And if you think something is going to happen and it's not working out, yeah, well, oftentimes means you were wrong. We don't really like being wrong as humans. So, well, being wrong, no, I can't be wrong. I move my stop loss further up and I'm simply not wrong. Move my stop loss further up, I'm still not wrong. I'm just adding size because I know, or I think it's gonna go lower. Yeah, exactly. And we kind of anticipated that already because we saw the Asia session with a strong trend. Even before the Asia session, look here at NQ. We had a bigger range from 6 p.m. opening before the Asia session. That's 60 points on NQ. And then during Asia, we had a before midnight, if we consider this as the true day open. Some traders do, some traders don't. That's just a perspective thing. 41 points. And from the true day open to here, 40 points, same as the Asia range. And just looking at the specific kill zone, 28 points. Really nothing mind-blowing here. So how could we have anticipated that? By watching the weekly outlook, me saying, or even just this morning's live stream, strong trend before London. Friday, range expansion we took out. We spoke about that right here. On Thursday, we've already done that. If we look at, not on NQ, but on ES. Let me zoom out here. On Thursday, we took out, if this is our entire weekly range, and we were just right now trading the New York kill zone on Thursday, or even London kill zone. You can see this used to be our high and low of the week. Monday's low and Wednesday's high. Thursday came in and we took out the high and both the low on that same day. And then Thursday formed, one single day formed the high and low of the week. Not really, well, we only see this during true big expansion days. We caught the short from the high all the way to the weekly low. So that's already something good, but you tend to forget about that really quickly. And you're only wondering what's happening now without really looking at what you've done already. And then on Friday, we've did exactly the same thing. We took out the low of the week right here and reversed all the way back up to the high of the week. So another range expansion day. Strong trend. Immediately with the open, we started to retrace, put in a new trend to the downside. Decent movement. Get the 2022 model at the low before our kill zone. So really longs were off the table for me with the 2022 setup, unless we go back below the low. But then even like you want to see a clean setup, because then we're back below the midnight level. We could simply retrace further into some of these inefficiencies here to the left. You're like, is this really worth it? So yeah, if you would have just went with the flow, the flow is the 2022 model at the Asia low above the midnight level, consolidation at the 50% of our Asia range. What could the flow be like? Equal highs Asia. I look for longs. I get an inefficiency. Target that. Boom. That would have been the flow this morning. But yeah, by just looking at the boxes, we can already see the difference. It's hard to label this as a trending session. All we do was chop. And we anticipated that because range expansion on Friday, big trend during Asia, no high impact news on Monday. And trust me, I used to struggle not to take a trade even on these days. Like, I need to take a trade. I'm spending time in front of the charts and I'm sure there's something. Even if I'm sticking to fixed rules, you try to force a 2022 setup. Well, with tape reading or going with the flow approach, you will always find an opportunity. It's hard not to. It's really hard not to. Back in the days where I've done that, going with the flow, I mean, that's where all these Apex funded accounts come from eventually. The topstep account that used to be the Scalper Pro strategy, it works. But yeah, I don't know. If you start entering that losing streak, you're like, am I still in that flow state? Maybe something changed, and you start thinking again too much, where you really shouldn't think, and you should just trust your intuition and build up that confidence that you can do it. It's truly fascinating, this entire stuff here. Even Michael Jordan maybe has a 50% chance for hitting the basket, but he took every shot he could get anyhow. Yeah, exactly. It's like that Simpsons thing predicting the future. I've seen that recently. A friend talked about it. And like, I don't know, coming from the trading background, it's just really all you think about is probabilities. And like, yeah, well, Simpsons is one of the longest running shows. They have had over 600, maybe even 1,000 episodes. So for them, like, if they make just one prediction in every episode, it's much easier for the Simpsons to eventually get one prediction right compared to, like, I don't know, a series or a TV show with a small amount of episodes running for less time. I got a question that is maybe off topic. Since I saw that you buy crypto like Chainlink, do you see this crypto word as something just to speculate on? Or does it have real use, Bitcoin in particular? Oh, I love that question. Nice. But before we dive into that, check out TradingView. Keep on making higher highs and higher lows. Now we have equal lows right here. Really, right now, there's no reason to call a top. We would just expect the trend kind of to continue and move our market structure shift level with us until the London kill zone is over in 10 minutes. And Q really sucks here. YM. Yeah, I certainly won't take the entry all the way up here. We really lost that momentum here. Going with the flow. Nah, Even if we get a new signal here within the kill zone, it's just, not what I want. Entering at the high of the day. Already up 1 hour today. Take a look at the DXY. And QES. Alright, like Chainlink. Just to speculate, or does it have real use, Bitcoin in particular? So that's mostly what I believe and from what I've studied and learned. Um, well, how do I start? Let me open up TradingView for the background. So I'd say, just in general, there are projects that have a real world use case and major, one of the biggest companies that we have in terms of stock prices and how many employees they have, they already have a crypto technology sector in their companies. They are sponsors of one of the most unappreciated or undervalued cryptocurrencies. And the biggest misconception that I think people have most of the time when it comes to cryptocurrency is already the name, cryptocurrency. And then you automatically think that something like Chainlink is a currency, or Ethereum it's kind of a currency, yes, but in my opinion it's a not a security but a commodity. It's like a stock. Chainlink is a big company. We can look up and do some Google research in the end. It's a company with employees, blah, blah, blah. And Chainlink is the stock for that specific company. And because I really like what they do, putting real world data feeds onto the chain, making, yeah, I don't know what you, let me find a few examples, and it makes it easier for me to talk about. Chainlink. Not staking. Chainlink Labs. One cool one is the Energy Web token. Super underappreciated. But they already work together with Tesla in Austria, Australia, America, and some other country I don't know of. Definitely in Europe, Australia, and in America, and in Canada as well. Working together with Tesla to create decentralized renewable energy grids. That's, yeah, I don't know, it would take ages for me to explain all that. But if you just look at the Energy Web Talk, let me go to that website. I always pick that one if I talk about the use case. So not every crypto has that real world use case, but that's the same thing that you would do if you invest in stocks. You would do your fundamental analysis. We build digital solutions that help communities navigate the energy transition. Okay, and let's just look at all these companies that are working together. Vodafone, Shell, California ISO. Okay, Filecoin, can I move that up? Australia energy market operator. Engie, Eon. Okay, there goes Vodafone. Here, AMO's Project Edge, Energy Demand and Generation Exchange. They actually have products, data exchange, green proofs. Basically, Energy Web is cool because they've already been mentioned from BlackRock. Because eventually, that entire Bitcoin mining thing not really being super green with lots of emissions and, yeah, a huge energy consumption. Energy Web already has a solution to create a green proof for Bitcoin. So maybe in the future down the road, you can decide if you want to buy green Bitcoin or regularly mined Bitcoin. And that entire thing, everything behind you buying green Bitcoin or regular Bitcoin is made by Energy Web. And they put that infrastructure in place. So does Chainlink by, yeah, providing the Oracle network with technology that's really, yeah, it's hard to comprehend if you've never dove into it. And yeah, so it has a real world use case. They have employees and all that stuff, scientists, everything is open source, and it's also what I really like about it. They hire, it's not just a coin or a currency that you pay with in the future. So yeah, it's at a baby stage because most people don't understand it yet, and I think most people don't have to understand it eventually for the future. It's more something like you go to a website, you go to Amazon.com, you pay simply, but instead of using your credit card, which takes ages and it's hard to send money around the world without having all these intermediaries in between taking their cut. So if, for example, I here in Germany would send money to Agent Smith in America, but would only work throughout a bank, and the bank would be the intermediary, taking a small cut for making this transaction, whereas if you send it with Bitcoin, you take out the intermediary and it's still, yeah, super safe. Some people would even say safer than a bank is. So yeah, kind of. Tia, tia, tia. Good morning, Freshkey. We just started to talk a little bit about crypto. So yeah, like I said, Bitcoin in particular. The only real work it's Ripple. It's been used since I still have Ripple, but I wouldn't really agree to the only real work. That's nice. Yeah, Tia went up. It was a airdrop. I remember that one. Let me check that out. CoinGecko. Tia Celestia. I think it's also a layer 1 chain or layer 2 chain if I'm correct. Well, that's just me being in the airdrop space for a long time. People got the tokens for free, and I don't buy into projects where people got the token entirely for free. 1st of November. Of course, yeah, it made a huge profit from 250 all the way up to 548, but there's a lot of selling pressure from the people that got the tokens for free. Eventually there will be fresh kids, always like that with airdrops. Deploy fast, yeah, also a blockchain. Data will network execute scales with the number of users, making it easy for anyone to launch their own blockchain. Run a light node. Yeah, ICT, it's most of the time, or from my experience, if you talk to people about crypto, they either don't like it because they don't understand it, and what you don't understand, you don't like, you just, don't understand it, therefore don't like it. And if someone explains it, they always explain it in the wrong way. Oh, Bitcoin is that cool thing that goes up to 60K every couple years and they make huge profits. And like, yeah, come on, like you have to buy some. And they always get super excited like that, like almost a cult type of person. Or they simply don't understand it enough. They don't understand it enough. They don't like it because other people they follow and they, I don't know, like their role models, I don't know, say Bitcoin scrap, it will go to zero. Look at helium, same real world use. So I have heliums, but not so many. Consensus, Interchain Foundation, co-founder of Change, Ethereum Classic. Yeah, they've got a pretty cool team, gotta say. Oh, maybe I can claim some TIA token. It wouldn't surprise me. Celestia airdrop. Testnet, Arbitrum 1. Hell yeah. Maybe I'm too late for that, but I shouldn't. Build, run a node, explore. Odd layer, that's cool. Let's go quickly back to the trading view charts. Equal highs. Higher highs on NQ. Market structure shift would still come in at this level, but the London kill zone is nearly over. So I think that would conclude that. Let me check if I Celestia airdrop. Sure, I get some. I always get the airdrops. But yeah, airdrops are always the same. People, blah blah blah. Tokens for free. No matter how bullish team whatsoever, eventually there's gonna come that period where these early airdroppers who receive the tokens sell at a decent price, and they just buy it back at a lower price. At least that's how I would do it. Of course, you could just hold them forever. Of a total 500,000 elytras, developers, top Ethereum robe users, and early adopters, as well as stakers of Atom and Osmo, are eligible to claim. Interesting. Stakers and IBC relayers on Cosmos and Osmosis, early adopters of Ethereum rollups. Yep, that's me. How to claim Genesis. Is the airdrop claim page gone or what? And live until... Okay. So it's already too late, I think. That sucks. I don't know. I don't like that. If they have a will be live until 9 days. I don't know. You could still... You were able to claim your October 7th. Today is... okay, that's already a long time ago. With Arbitrum, you were able to claim your airdrop for... I don't know. Like 1 year later. And here they only do it for 9 days. Well, guess I missed that one. Don't care. Makes money, sure, but yeah, now season 2 airdrop to incentivize tier users. It's just a month old. The pullback will come. 100%. Okay, so now new hourly candle, we start to retrace. Let's look at ES. I don't know, if we get a clean fair value gap entry here, I take that. Because we run above the Asia session highs. The higher time frame is bearish. So I'd still stick around for that. Let's see. Take care, Ryan. Well, Freshkey, agree to disagree here. If you think TIA is gonna go up forever after a month, then the selling pressure will come. Yeah. Like, I don't know, if you got a great entry on that, nice. If you got the airdrop on that, even better. You didn't even spend a single dollar, but eventually, if you have so many people who haven't paid a single dollar on it, and they see their TIA holdings up $5,000, $10,000, well, they start thinking, should I sell, should I sell? And then they see that first drop, and then they panic sell. Well, I hope. Getting in now doesn't make really sense, but if you got a nice entry, well done. 566. Does this work on CoinGecko? No, not really. 30 days. 90 days. 14 days. 7 days. Exchanges, Binance, of course. 33% of the volume on Binance. Market cap is nicely low. Rank 65 already, not bad. A new chain. 1 billion tokens. How many are in circulation? 150 million in circulation, 1 billion total supply. Inflation is also going to be a big part with Celestia. It's not, yeah, I hope that makes sense. Because more and more tokens are eventually going to be released with the next airdrop. More token holders will be there, of course. Could also be bullish. But eventually we're going to get that drop when it's going to be a nice buying opportunity. Depending on when you got in. If you got in below $3, yeah, enjoy the ride. Take pauses on the way up. But if you want to jump in right now, I'd say it's too much risk. That's all I'm saying, because yeah, people got those tokens for free. And if you've got, I don't know how many people got, let me check that out. Tier airdrop. Until November 29th. Ah. Why is this so weirdly slow here? Okay, we might be getting the 2022 setup. Fresky, would you take that? Well, can work like Luna, cannot. Trying to jump into Sol since $20, yeah. Just wait for the pullback. I think it's still gonna happen. Yeah, I think if we get the fair value gap here, I'd take that. Wait for the close below. Log out right here of that new topstep account. Then later we check if I get some free money. Yeah, we see it's dropping. Yeah, I'd say new hourly candle. If we go back into that bearish fair value gap, why the fuck shouldn't we enter? We have a volume imbalance right here. Bearish fair value gap, market structure shift. SMT divergence within Q, yep. ES leaving equal highs and Q making higher highs. High of the day, took out Asia buy side. No reason not to. Let's check what our stop loss would be looking like. 2.5 points, so we can even use mini contracts. Perfect. My entry will be right here, 20 seconds, create limit order, log me into my trade day account. Connect. Yep. Create limit order, 2 contracts, sell. New volume imbalance here to the downside. Market structure shift. Of course, like always, could also end up being a unicorn setup. Just happened at the end of the kill zone inside the macro. Bearish fair value gap, volume imbalance left behind. Entry on that aligning confluence. $250 risk. That's okay. Let me quickly hop into all these other accounts. A 25K take profit trader account. Gonna do one contract here because I can only afford to risk $500 here per day. So really small account. Do one contract here. And let's head over to the Apex. Two contracts. So PA Apex 4, PA Apex 5. Done. Let's see. MetaMask. Connect. What am I signing here? Let me... I don't like that. Not signing anything here. That's how you get scammed. No, let me... I do that later when I'm not on stream anymore and I have time for that stuff. That's fine. But I think being a early layer 2 user, I should get some free TR tokens. And then if I get a couple of TR tokens worth $5, well, let's see. Check that out later. Go on their Discord and go for a trustworthy Genesis link and not just some link that you find on Medium, which can end up, if you sign these signatures in your wallet, ending up being a contract to a wallet drainer that simply drains your fucking wallet. You don't want that to happen. So yeah, look here, sushi tokens, they want to steal my sushi, so that was a scam. You do not ever click confirm here, otherwise the tokens are gone. Always make sure you using transactions from a proper source. Let me close some tabs here. Didn't get filled just yet. We hit the breaker block now. We did not yet. I'm gonna be back in a couple of seconds. I have to go to the bathroom. Right, let's see. We have our breaker block right here. We have a new bearish fair value gap, if I see that correctly. Let me hide the indicator here quickly. Yep. New bearish fair value gap aligned with the breaker block. Still only interested if we hit the volume imbalance, unfilled volume imbalance too. We close below. That's all cool. Cool. Bearish breaker block right here. Lowest down closing candle. Didn't get filled yet. We ticked out or wicked our level. Let's see if we get lucky today. I'm on my Apex funded account right here. We should get that fill. Just ticked it. Let's see. Old bullish fair value gap. Wanna see that break below. And now a 2-to-1 really isn't super unrealistic. We will see. Who is sending me a message request? Look, so also, like everywhere, you join the Celestia Discord, you ask a question if I can still claim my token, and what do you get? Have you been able to claim your TIA token? No. Do you want my secret passphrase? Fucking idiot. Poison. Why do people do that? General? No, it's over. Let's see, Rock. Oh, come on, we're not filled. On Apex, I think. Are we filled here? Nope. Are we filled here? No. Oh. We just wicked the level. Let's see. So we hit the breaker block. We really could have placed our limit order down here. But if we already have the inefficiencies above, if we miss it, we miss it. Unfortunate. Just tapped our entry level. We'll see if we're gonna be dead. Let's see if we got filled on the take profit trader account. Also not. That's not right. Come on. There's still some time left. Who are you? Who cares? Opportunity was there, but I think you only had a week time window in order to get that airdrop. Sure, I would have gotten some. Every active wallet on layer 2s would have gotten some. But, well, let's see if we get our entry here and forget all about that crypto stuff, because all we do is buy and hold. No market structure shift on NQ. We just keep on doing this. Now we have a bearish inefficiency. While on ES we had the market structure shift and the PD erase in order to really look for higher prices on the hourly time frame. We closed above our hourly bearish fair value gap. We now could be using this as inversion fair value gap. 15-minute, nothing on the 15. We'll see. A 5-minute time frame. Good enough to take an entry. Nice trend to the upside. Failed to make a higher high. Just touched the breaker block one more time. Fortunately not filled. Let's see. Not gonna jump in here or FOMO in. If we miss it, we miss it. It hit our entry, but didn't fill us yet. That 442050 is also a session point of control where that imbalance is. Now I really want to see that imbalance priced into and not just wicked. Also because I want to get filled, ideally. In the meantime, I want to look up Celestial 60 million ecosystem users, top Ethereum rollups, eligible to claim free TIA tokens. But they don't tell you how much. Yeah, okay, that's why Genesis page didn't work. 60 million. So almost everything that's in circulation right now, or half of what's in circulation right now, has been airdropped. 150 million, 60 million airdropped. Airdrop ends 17th of October. Okay, that's a long time ago. The Halloween airdrop. The pool of surpassed 600. This resulted in nearly 1 million worth of tokens remaining unclaimed. They're likely one of them. Come on, I want to find out what the allocation would have been. Owning an ENS. I've got an Ethereum name service. I would have had that. I would have had, okay, cool. But I want to see how much you would have got, or how much most people got. Genesis drop. Naughty allocation. Eligible. 719. Huh. contributor. Nope. Early adopters of Ethereum rollups. Top 20% activity score, top 50% minimum tier, 50, 70, 90. Let's say around 100 tier I could have claimed for sure. 100, then ENS, snapshot, gas spend. Yeah, that all looks good. Age of account over 5 years. Yeah, 1 or 200 tier. Nice. 100 to $1,000. Likely missed out on. Well, doesn't matter. Let's check that on. Has been on the top of liquidations. Shorts are paying for long. Yeah, well, Freshkey, nothing against here. Nothing against your position there. Just saying that, I don't know, always be aware of scenario 2. After people holding tier tokens got them for free. Binance got a huge stack. They eventually also gonna sell. Just like, yeah, I don't know that you... Yeah, well, then remain super bullish. But just saying my opinion. Well, still 60 million tokens of the airdrop with a 150 million token supply available right now. That's 50%. Just look that up. Like I said, nothing against here or project. But if someone is defending something so much, just be aware of, like, yeah, the opposite scenario as well. That's all I want to say. The bearish scenario. Take partials and, yeah, likely get in at a cheaper price. Of course, I could be completely wrong and we go to $20 straight away after being on CoinGecko for 7 days. Of course, that's how these tokens start out. They don't just stop after 157% if we haven't even seen 30 days of track record on CoinGecko. Of course, has barely any market cap. Well, something at least. But for a chain, that's not really much. $2 all-time low, all-time high at 571. Yeah. Well, if I would have claimed my airdrop, I likely would have already sold 50% and used that to buy back at a later point in time because eventually it's gonna drop. ES, we have filled on ES. Let's see how that plays out. We hit the volume imbalance and the bearish fair value gap. Our stop loss is 2.5 points, $250. And our take profit target is 5 points. So that's really a cool London setup without having to move too much. We will see if it plays out. I mean, our job is done right now. We don't have an impact on the outcome. We saw the market structure shift. We could, in case we go back above here and close above here, wait for a unicorn setup and potentially enter long into maybe the new week opening gap, back up into that area. So that's the bullish scenario. Unicorn setup into the new week opening gap. Bearish scenario, what we're in right now. 5 points into this unfilled volume imbalance, bullish fair value gap down here. Sell side liquidity, short-term low, short-term low, short-term low. Bearish scenario, bullish scenario. Be open-minded for both. Otherwise, you're going to sit here like, oh shit, what happened? I should have secured profits. Maybe I should have done that. We're prepared for both. If I'd only take the unicorn setup if we immediately just place up here with strong bullish momentum. If not, I'd say the probability is there that we might hit our 2-to-1. If we chop around here for ages and then eventually after 1 or 2 hours get the unicorn setup, I wouldn't take that. That's too far away from the London kill zone. I'd still accept that entry. So we will see. By the way, the thing I do not like about this, the trade are equal high, and the fact that we are out of the kill zone, if it's good thing though. Yeah, same thing, we would go with the flow. If we immediately see the close above, we could cut some risk. I also don't like the perfect equal highs above, but sometimes it plays out like that. NQ being stronger, not clearing the low. Now all of a sudden, we have some sort of bearish SMT divergence with NQ, NQ making a higher high, while ES is making equal highs. So it would be a medium strength SMT divergence. Well, it's like, of course, it's at the end of the kill zone, and we could still be in that trend continuation, but I'd say it's worth the risk. If we don't take the risk, and we would have seen it simply retrace for 5 points, would have been like, why didn't we enter? So setup is there. Like I said, if we get the immediate displacement, we can play the unicorn setup as well. Nothing wrong about that. Of course, the equal highs are not ideal, but not every trade is ideal, and having equal highs above is not something for me to say, no, I'm not going to take this trade. We stick to the rules. Got the market structure shift right here at 505. Entry right here at 525, half an hour tolerance. It's not just a sweep because we closed because the most recent below the most recent higher low. Let's see. Bounce off this fair value gap again one more time. No second entry on the topstep account. NQ pushing. So we likely get the unicorn setup here. And like I said, I tried that. Perfect example. I mean, we've had the live stream last week, and now we even get a setup. That's cool. Potentially. I won't trade day account. Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's see. Because eventually you will always find reasons why the 2022 model could fail. And, well, you either make that quantifiable that you can, without you just thinking, is this going to work, isn't this going to work? That's not really what you want to do if you stick to your rule-based approach. Then, well, tape reading is yours. But like, yeah, with every 2022 setup, you're gonna find a reason why we could go higher, why this should work, why this shouldn't work. Doesn't make sense to, okay, we're stopped. Let's see if we get the unicorn setup. We simply just take it and forget about the rest. If you do not want that, then rule-based trading isn't for you. It's that simple. Then you should more go with the flow sort of trading. Right, so we take out the low, we get that trapped short traders selling that acceleration during the buy phase like we spoke about. We invalidated the breaker block right here. This is a inversion fair value gap now. Same goes for this one. We didn't close above the high yet, so let's see. Inversion fair value gap. If we close above that high and we get a nice inefficiency here with a breaker block, this candle would be our breaker block right here. Breaker block, the initial bearish market structure shift. Maybe just some seek and destroy and a last stop on above the equal highs. Well, could be. Still no reason for me to use a much bigger stop loss above these highs. Initially, we've respected the volume imbalance, but then we just got the 530 candle saying, nope, not today. 15-minute time frame. Now we didn't hit we hit this volume imbalance, but well, like I said, if you want to look for something against the 2022 model short, you're gonna find something. So yeah, you either don't look for stuff going against it and simply follow your rule set, or you, I don't know, do every trade based on a gut feeling. But then don't be surprised if a setup shows up and you think that's not going to work out and it actually ends up working out. Not a breaker block yet. Let's see if we even had a unfilled volume imbalance up here. Didn't see that double volume imbalance even. Right there. So now I'd expect support from this area after having swept sell side to continue higher towards the new week opening gap, and really this buy side liquidity pool right here above this wick. Otherwise, just another fake out, and we do not enter on the unicorn setup. And we just do some seek and destroy here. Which is fine. Can happen. With these equal highs, of course, you could have said, if we enter right here and we have these equal highs, you want to have your stop loss maybe 1 point above that to allow for these equal highs to be rated. But, well, this wick could have also been higher, really. I mean, nothing saying that we can't re-enter into the trade, not on the trade day account, but on my Apex and take profit trader accounts. I could see myself doing that, but it's outside of the kill zone. We're basically done for the session. We tried it, didn't happen. Got it towards the end of the session. Took out these equal highs. Sometimes we see it take out these equal highs. Sometimes we simply continue lower, and that's exactly the thing. If you always make it up to your intuition if the setup, when you follow the rules, plays out or not, it's much simpler to just take every trade and let it play out instead of finding something against every setup. I don't know, that's just my experience. Alright guys, I think that's gonna be the end for the live stream unless we have any more questions, I'd say. Did anyone else take this short and got stopped out at these equal highs, or maybe used a slightly bigger stop loss? Check out the 1 minute time frame here. Took these equal highs and immediately rejected. Double unfilled volume imbalance. That's okay. Second contract on the higher volume imbalance. Yeah, make perfect sense. Breaker block is entry level, okay. The second contract on the higher volume imbalance. I also thought about doing that for the funded accounts, but I thought, yeah, why? It's okay. If I would have gotten a second entry up higher and I don't know, maybe a stop loss tiny bits up higher, would have made sense, but I'd say that's almost hindsight now. Hindsight, finding a reasoning for something. We open up with a new bearish volume imbalance. Yeah, I don't know. It's outside of the kill zone. We really shouldn't be sitting here anymore. I mean, everything could happen. We have a inversion fair value gap now. We immediately got rejected from these equal highs. We do not have SMT divergence, but the trend right now is bullish. If it happens and we retrace now and hit our old 5-point target, so be it. It's not worth it to jump right back into the short with our stop loss above here without a new proper setup, which would really come in if we go back below the slow with a inefficiency. But even then it would be outside the kill zone, not what we are here to do. Really, if we are being super strict, not even what we to do. If we would have had a losing trade here already, yeah, we scratched the idea. We've talked about the long of this inefficiency, the only inefficiency since or for the London kill zone. Long played out. We continued higher, leave these equal highs behind, shifted structure. So I'd say that's the gray area where we can still, let's say 15 minutes, if it really happens just inside this macro at the 5 a.m. new hourly candle, I'd still take that. Today a bit unfortunate that we had these equal highs and got stopped out. But that's just the way it is. Jumping in short again now because we've got that rejection. Can work, cannot work. Depends if you go with the flow or stick to the rules. 1 trade per session, that's done. We tried it. And that should be it. Alright guys, thanks for joining today's London live stream. Let's see what we can do during New York. Unfortunately with a loss, but that's part of trading. Alright guys, see you later until New York, which is already in, roughly 2.5 hours. Alright guys, bye.